Ooh. It's October, so we're telling real estate horror stories. And hopefully, you as agents don't have any, but we know that that's probably unrealistic unless you're brand new with
Yeah.
a brand new license. And whether you're new or not, we think it's a really great practice to borrow other people's stories and learn from them, right?
Absolutely. Some of our best practices and systems come from lessons learned, or hopefully more lessons learned by others.
Exactly.
So both Ruth and I, for many, many years, have followed a few different social media, mostly Facebook groups that are real estate based. And that has helped us gain so much information. You can only do so many transactions a year and only learn so much. But when you can learn from others simultaneously, that elevates your business and your knowledge much
And
faster.
there's a lot of different real estate groups, and you're going to need to find your tribe. And there's some that are funny, and there's some that are snarky, and there's some that are trying to sell you something. Um, I really like Lab Coat Agents. I think that I've been in that group for many years. It's probably the biggest social media group. It's run by a great group of admins. They work hard to keep the content engaging and
Useful and accurate.
yeah,
Yeah.
they really do a good job moderating and doing their own posts and posting content and interviews and having education, etc. Not that there isn't still some nonsense that goes on, but you can't have an active group without something, right? Um, but that's a great place to go read through. And this is not even just new agents. I think it's helpful. I mean, we still do it all the time.
All the
You
time.
want to know what other agents are experiencing, what's going on is as the market changes, are the pitfalls changing? Are there things that we can avoid and help our clients avoid without having to go through it?
Yeah.
So we just did a Facebook Live about some of the horror stories that we've either okay, most of them are mine. Danielle must be better than me. Um,
I'll have a
but
few next week.
we've either gone through or heard about from our colleagues. And one of them was one of my first closings when it was a flip and it had been empty for some time, and it was the middle of winter. And luckily, I had a checklist for what to check. And I went outside and discovered that the central air conditioner was missing, and it was in a location that we would never have seen it by accident. Um, and so I saved my client from having a many $1,000 repair off the bat on her first home. And now that goes into not only our checklist, but every single final walkthrough that I do, I double check that the air conditioner's there because we had that happen. Danielle's got a good horror story for uh, the agent side. I don't think that clients would understand how horrifying this might be. But if you're one of those agents who likes to have people text you to schedule showings, you might want to consider what happened to Danielle.
Yes. So it's a couple of years back, and instead we have showing time here. It's very easy to set up. One click on MLS, you pick a time, date, emails, texts, whatever goes out to agents, owners, whoever needs to give approval. It's done. 2 clicks and you're done. But some people still don't use it, even though it's part of our MLS and very free. So this particular agent requested we text for access. So I did. I texted her and I said, hi, I'm looking, I introduced myself, gave my agent ID number, all the things that you're supposed to do to kind of help them understand who you are and vet you a little bit more. So I said, I'd like to show your property at this address. And they said, sure. And I said, okay, is it on a Sentry lock? Because again, that's one of those electronic safety lock boxes that we use here. I know that's not everywhere. It's a Supra, things like that. So Sentry Lock, is it a Sentry Lock or a coded lock box? And they responded Sentry. And I said, great, thanks. So I don't know if that was a day before, 2 days before, it doesn't matter. I go with my clients. We're at this house and I see that there's a code. And I went, oh no, okay. So, or actually, yes, it was a coded lockbox. I'm like, gosh, you told me it was Sentry. So I'm kind of.
So you're at the front door trying to.
You're at the front door, right?
To get an entry.
And so I'm going, okay. So as we're there, and I'm seeing if there's like another Sentry, because sometimes there's 2 lock boxes there. Sometimes they'll put a lock box for people to come in and out of, like contractors and stuff. So anyway, I'm fiddling with my phone to try to get a hold of the agent, and the owners come to the door. Okay, cool. I'm sorry, I got wrong access. I'm here to show this house. And they go, we didn't have a showing for today. And I lifted up my phone and I showed the text message. I said, I texted your client, your agent. They said it was perfectly fine. I told them the time, date, this is it. They're like, okay, well, we're here. Sure. Come on in. We go show the house, look inside, outside. Thank you for letting us in. Sorry for the miscommunication. We leave. I am 3 blocks down when I get a very angry call from the agent. Why were you at the house? You never asked for that. I'm like, I do. I'm now shaking. I'm like, gosh, why is everybody doing this? Like, this is, and I look at the phone number that she's calling me from, and I look at my phone to where I text messaged, and I was a number off. I was like dying. I was so upset. I was so apologetic. I am so sorry. I absolutely, I said, I'll send you the screenshot of what I did and who I sent it to and what they responded. I absolutely 100% thought I had.
So you texted a random stranger because of a typo, which how easy is that to put into a phone number that you're trying to get from the MLS to doesn't always
and
copy.
I have notoriously fat fingers. My friends call, like when I text them or send them things online, they're like, there's Danielle talk again, because I can't. I'm sorry. But so
it's easy. It's a really easy mistake to make. And then this jerk on the other end
didn't make it easier.
Responding to you.
Continued with conversations with me.
Seller didn't have a shotgun sitting next to his chair in the
Absolutely. Or God forbid it was a Sentry lockbox on there. I would have just went right in.
Yep.
And not had any, I still got in, but it was just one of those situations where it's like, oh, yes, it's my fault. I did make a mistake, but I also feel like it was preventable.
Well, yeah, that's totally a mistakes can happen thing. And if they used, the tools that are available to us, that are free and eliminate most of those mistakes. And the way I get it set up, that notifies the seller as well. So I never have to worry about forgetting, which, I've got a million things in my head at any given moment. Forgetting to say, oh, there's another showing at 3:00 today is kind of almost going to happen.
Forgetting or not, you're in a meeting. I mean, I got you get phone calls. You missed it. You're like, I'll deal with that later. Yep. Well, why?
Exactly.
Why take 4 hours to get to your client because you're not available at that moment? And that's not bad. You're not a horrible agent for being busy with real estate.
Exactly. And
something else.
And that's the thing too. A lot of these tools are available to us, not only to serve our clients better, which I think it does. And I know, a lot of, when I've heard agents who have something against these digital tools, it's usually an unfounded fear or reluctance to let go of control. If you don't let go of control, you are the agent who always has to be at everyone's beck and call. You're the agent leaving a family dinner to take a call. And we don't think that's right. So that's just a little bit of a horror story. I know anti-Sentry Lock agents like to tell the story about, when it didn't work when they got there. Well, guess what? There's an 800 number. They can fix it from wherever they are at that magical desk that they sit at. They can just fix that lockbox as soon as you call them.
They do.
that was a story I wanted to tell on our Facebook Live, but I figured clients would really appreciate how horrifying that was to be in your shoes at that moment. So agents, give us your, obviously change the names to protect the innocent and because confidentiality, but give us your horror stories. Jump on here. Jump on our Facebook Live if you've got some that you're willing to share publicly. That happens before this at 11:15 every Friday, and we're doing horror stories all October. So give us some of yours.
Have a great week.